Hello again, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do one more video on how to do regressions, but this time I'm going to use Desmos. If you saw the previous video that I just posted on how to do it on the Inspire, or if you haven't, I do recommend going through that one so you can have a choice of which technology to use when you're doing regressions. They are quite a bit different. If I'm being a little bit biased, I think Desmos is a little bit slicker. And remember, if you're at an AP course, specifically for me, AP Pre-Calculus, Desmos is going to be embedded into the AP Pre-Cal test. So again, as we get into this, if you saw the Inspire video, there was a lot of kind of hiding and this and that, kind of going back and forth some. Desmos is pretty slick in how we do the same thing. So this is going to be a shorter video just because it's slicker. So I'm going to use the same table. So here we go. So I'm going to bring up Desmos here. And the first thing we got to do, just like on the Inspire, we have to set up a spreadsheet, a data table. So the way we're going to do that, on the far left-hand side where it says Add Item, you're going to add a table. Go figure. And now we just start typing in. Remember on the Inspire, you had to type in the X and the Y up there. Nothing here, just start typing the numbers. So 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. And that's the last one to go up to the Ys. 10.2, 2.9, 8.2, 16.1, 16.1, and 17.9. And just like before, it's a good idea to double check, make sure that you type the numbers in correctly, didn't make some kind of little silly mistake. So I'm going to talk about the slickness of Desmos a lot. So the first thing, the scatterplot's staring us in the face, but we don't have to change the window manually. If you hit this little plus sign right here, the zoom fit, this is going to change the window so that you can see all those data points right there without having to do any kind of manual adjustment at all. Of course, if you need to change the window to extend it out one way or the other, depending on when you're making predictions, you can always do that over here on the wrench key, but in this case, I'm not going to worry about that. So we have that, we have our scatter plot, and again, all we got to do now is do the regression. So right next to the table, it says this little kind of grayed out area that looks like a line of best fit. Add regression, just click on that, and it's right here. So it gives you, in this case, the linear regression. We see that it's not very good. And oh, look here, where it says residuals, we can plot those too. And if you need to know those values, just click on the individual points, and it will give you the residual value for each of those X values, just like it did on the Inspire. So again, the linear does not look like a very good line, so I'm going to change it to quadratic. All of these values automatically change. The residuals automatically change. And again, you can see better, not great. You have the equation here. And I'm going to move right into cubic, because again, faster and slicker. So just hit the drop-down box, hit cubic, and there we see our really good fit, and we see that same R squared value, and we see the equation, and we see the residuals. And again, if you click on the individual red dots, you can see what the residual values actually are. And that can, of course, that in itself, just what the residual for, say, when X is 10, that could be itself an AP question for sure. So again, once you've decided on the model, you can see right next where it says equation, it says export snapshot to the expression list. So I'm going to click that, and oh look, the whole equation is right there, and now we can use that for any kind of predictions. The only thing I'm going to change here is instead of having it be y on here, I'm going to delete the y, and I'm going to make it f of x. Because that way on the next line, now I can type in any x value that I want to make a prediction for. So again, I forget what I used in the last video, but I'm going to do f at 7.2. That sounds familiar. I'll type in another one. Let's say if I want to do f at 16.1. and it'll spit out that value there, okay? And then lastly, and I'm going to move my face again. Lastly, if we want to, if you're given the x value, just type it in with that f, the function notation. If I want to find an x value, if you're given the y value, in other words, you kind of do it the same way. You go to a blank line, you just type in y equals whatever value. I'm going to do 13.4. It'll draw that horizontal line. And now all we got to do is just click on those individual points, and those are the x values for that corresponding y value. And you can change that. You can change that y value, honestly, obviously, to anything you want to make any kind of those predictions. So that's Desmos. Again, a much faster, much slicker, if you will, interface. And again, it is going to be embedded into the online multiple choice portion of the AP pre-cal test. So obviously, if you're only going to use Inspire, I do have a video for that, and I'll link that in the description below this video. If you have any questions about either process, feel free to leave them in the comments, or if there's anything I can help you with further. But that's all there is to Desmos. Until next time. Take care.